welcome back to the channel. Right, we said we're going to do some updates on the truck, so as you can probably tell, Swamp Thing's floating.
Yeah.
So we got all the wheels off the ground, and that is because the first thing we're going to tackle is the axles. So we got some uprated spindles to go in the back, and then the ones that we've taken out the back, because they're stronger than the ones in the front, will go into the front. And also what we're doing as well is we're fitting new wheel tethers. So we're going away from the big cables. So we're coming away from the cable and we're replacing it with PEI wheel tethers. So that's Patrick Enterprises wheel tethers. It's gonna have a mount off the top of here. So this is all getting replaced. Even the kingpin's getting replaced on the bottom of it. And it basically has like even this comes off. We have a new version of that. So it's a good time to change it all because we're taking the spindles off and we have to have all of this off to change it. That's why I've been waiting for these parts to come up. So they will be here tomorrow. If I'd have paid the VAT on the way in, I'd have had them today, but I just didn't see the email yesterday. So yeah, so that'll be here tomorrow, but that's not a big problem. What else have we got to do? We've got to fix the blower guard. We've got to make a new one of that because that's when the blower belt broke, it bent that. And what else we got to do on the truck? There's more bits and bobs.
Big bit right there.
Oh yeah, big bit there. So that's, I'm probably going to fix that on the truck to tell the truth. So we'll take all the bodywork off, take all the windows out.
So what you're telling me is you cleared the spray booth for nothing.
Well, no.
Because yesterday we didn't record this, but we moved my taxi in the container that we got.
Yeah, that's because we got more stuff coming. And I need more room. But I do need the spray bits in the spray booth because we want to redo the wheels.
Yep.
And that. But we got to change this. I probably can do this sat here. Gonna have to cover a lot up because it's going to make quite a bit of dust when I cut this piece off. I hate to think how many times I do this a year. Taking wheels on and off, on and off. That's what monster trucks. You do more of this than drive it.
We could calculate it, but it'll take forever.
One more.
How many shows do you do a year?
I don't know, it's a lot. But it isn't just there at the show, it's here as well.
I was just going to say, like, if we weren't counting what we're doing now. Probably like you do it nearly 60 times a year, you reckon?
Yeah, putting them on and off, yeah.
And it normally takes about 30 minutes to take them off and put the big wheels on. So it's a good, probably a couple of days worth of time of doing it.
Yeah, you work it out in hours, yeah. Yeah, probably in a year. I've spent probably a day changing tyres in a year. It's nice to have the heater on though in the workshop, isn't it?
I think we should start this side so then we get warm.
No, start on the other side because otherwise you won't want to do the other side. This side when we get back.
I was just showing off our Swamp Thing heater.
Yeah.
Oh, you dropped it now.
Yeah, that's right. You can pick it up.
Got a nut lease.
Right, Georgina.
Oh, you got my phone.
I've got your phone, yeah. So yeah, we've been really busy. It hasn't taken too long, has it?
About an hour in, I think.
Yeah, so about an hour into it. So this is like the stages of it. So this is like, let's start at stage one. Yeah.
So the wheels off.
So this is stage one with the wheel off and it's still got the planetary cover in it. So then the next thing we do is we take the planetary off and we drain the oil into a drip tray, and there's the planetary there. And then we fast forward because you don't want to see this bit because that bit's too far on. So then we take out the annulus ring. So that's inside that big thing. So that all that comes off, and then we put that onto the floor. And then the last thing we do is we take off the wheel spindle, which is that bit there, which bolts into this bit. And then we can pull out all the half shafts. So that axle is completely bare on this side. The only thing that's in it now is the diff that's in the middle. And I might even take that out, I'm not sure yet. But yeah, the next thing we've got to do is work on on the kingpins on this. So we can't do that until the new bits are in, but we're doing all the axles all at one time. So we've got all the bolts that come out. We've got a lot of new bolts to go in there, a lot of new hardware. But yes, it's been about an hour and we've nearly got all the axles off the truck. So all the axles are now stripped out on the truck, and what I like to do when we're at this stage is check the steering. Now I've already checked it, and this is why we checked it. So on this side, when you grab hold of it, there's no movement at all, up and down. It spins nice and freely. Now this one's got no movement up and down, but it doesn't spin freely. So if you look at this one, I don't know if you can hear it, but it's very notchy.
It's a lot stiffer.
It's a lot stiffer and it's notchy, and that normally means there's a bearing that's broken in it. So we're going to take this one apart. We got to take them apart anyway because we got to reshim them when we get the new kingpins. But I'm pretty sure that one's got a broken bearing in it. We've done the ones on the front, so this is all. That's what's on the end of the axle on the monster truck. It's quite a bit. It's really heavy, isn't it, Georgina?
Yeah, very heavy.
And then the wheel mounts to that. So you think how much weight's hanging out the end of this. But yeah, so this one, that's all nice and smooth. No movement in that. Everything's working really well. This one as well. We've got all the tie bars off because we're going to repaint them anyway. But yeah, just got to wait for the new bits to turn up because I've got the new spindles to go on here, but there's no point fitting that until I redo all the kingpins. So that should be here tomorrow. We felt the steering and we weren't happy with the steering on that back corner, so I've took it apart and it is what we thought. So this is what the bearing should look like, all of them being all the same height, that in one piece. This is what it is. So if you look at these, especially down here, if you look around these ones, some of the bearings are different heights. That's because it's all worn out and it's actually worn and cracked the bearing race. Sorry, the bearing, where the bearing runs in. So got to put a new one of that in, then reshim it all, and then it all should be good to go. There was no damage on the champagne, which is a good thing, because this is what happens with the champagne when they get damaged. So if you see this side, looks quite straight. On this side, you can see it's lent in a bit. That is scrap. So I just wanted to show you what it looks like when they're on the truck. If you look at this one now, still a bit dirty, but everything is still straight. So that one's straight to that one. We put an angle level on it and it's all good to go. So all the bits, well, most of the bits I've ordered are here. I've got some still coming by sea, but this is the new wheel tether system. So we're going away from those cables and we're going onto these big discs with these bits and all of that. So yeah, got to paint it all. I didn't know I wasn't sure if it was coming painted. I was pretty sure it wasn't. So we've got to get this mopped up, then we're going to take it apart, paint it, and then assemble it back on the truck. So what we're up to now is we're getting some more planetary hubs down. So these ones are brand new. They're not brand new. They're brand new, not used on a monster truck. So these are takeoffs off the military forklift. So I've got some spare ones up here. So just put the block and tackle to try and get them down because they're really heavy, and it's the easiest way to do it. So I've already got two down, so they're already in a spray booth because we're going to build them up. And the ones what was on the truck we've taken off and we've put into our shipper container because we're just going to keep them built up with the wheel tethers on, just in case we ever need them quickly. I have bought 6 wheel tethers, so I probably might bring down 3 and make one all up already. But yeah, so that's what we're up to at the minute, just getting these down. So it's quite noisy. Where are you? That's all right. No, I was just looking where you were. I didn't put you with a ladder. And then I'll come down. And that's how we're going to get it down. So Well, one more to do after this. All done. So we're in the spray booth. It's a lot warmer in here, isn't it, Georgina?
A lot warmer than outside the spray booth.
Yeah, it's pretty cold today. So I think in the workshop it says I think it's about 3.
I think it's so warm in here that my camera's actually condensated.
Yeah.
So we've got 2 heaters on the go.
But it says it's 10, it isn't 10 in here, that's 10 at the floor.
Yeah, right down here. So basically, when you go through this door, it's like between summer and winter time.
So yeah, so we got the planetaries in here. So I'm just degreasing the top flanges because we're masking them up. Now, there's an easy way of masking it up, isn't there, Georgina?
Pretty clever the way Dad taught me how to do it.
Yeah, so just dry that one off.
So we did a star pattern to add strength.
Yeah, so you do the star.
But the key is to really put your finger on the edges to make sure when you do the next one, it works perfectly.
Yeah. Now, a lot of people now would just try and mask it up and then cut it with a knife. That is the bit that I don't do. I don't cut it with a knife. So we just mask this up now. The reason why you put the star in it is to make sure.
Basically, turn it into like a drum.
Yeah, look.
Oh, look, you messed that one up. You got a gap.
Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Dad's normally really good at masking it up. He makes mine one look rubbish. He's also doing it like 4 times faster than I can.
Oh, I've done it again.
You're going too quick now. You're trying to show off.
No, it's getting near the end of the roll. It is, that's why.
That's why I'm also hearing excuses.
Right.
Just need one more bit.
One more little bit.
So this is where the cool trick comes in.
Now you just go push it all down, make sure it's all stuck really nice. So get some really coarse sandpaper. And just hit it on the edge and it will cut it perfectly on the edge all the way around.
It saves a lot of time doing it this way.
And if it was like a really weird shape, it'd still do it this way. It does it really well. As long as you've got a sharp edge.
And sometimes you use this as a template to make things.
Yeah, you can make it a template. So now that
And then you would peel it off and then you would get a template.
Yeah.
There you go. That's the offcut.
Offcut, yeah. And then that just goes in the bin.
So, so we got all these, and then we also got all these. These don't need the rust taken off them because they're brand new.
But we've still got to degrease them, sand them.
Yeah.
And then we've got a big thing here. So
Monster truck tube.
Monster truck tube. They're nice and strong. We're going to hang a lot of the stuff up on here so we can paint it. But we got
loads of these.
Loads and loads of spacers. They're going to take some while to paint them.
I almost want to put them in a bucket.
Can't put them in a bucket.
It'll save a lot of time. But yeah, so what we've been up to at the minute is we're taking all the surface rust off to make them shiny to be painted.
So they've been all wire brushed down now, so this is what they look like now. And then all I'm doing now is just brushing a rust converter on, and that will turn them black, and that will kill off any little bit of remaining rust. So, and they end up going black like that, and then we just wire brush them again, and they're good to go, good for painting them. But yeah, so takes a little while, but you get a good result out of it. Okay, so when I last left you the monster truck, we had it all apart. That was great. Everything was going great, and then I've messed up. I've got to put it all back together without having the new bits on. So some of it's my fault, and some of it is a shipping error. So I didn't actually get all the parts I wanted in one go from America. I had a load of shims missing. So, but what I've done, and this is also my fault, so I've painted all the new planetaries this side of them black. And I started painting, so everything was in primer. I started painting all the rings and everything, and I've run out of black paint. I thought I had a lot more than I actually did of the semi-gloss black that I used to paint them. And that isn't going to be until Thursday next week. I don't know why it's taking so long. I can normally get it next day, but the supplier I use, and it's a really good quality paint. You can hit it with a hammer, it doesn't chip off. But yeah, so I can't get that till Thursday. But I've got to be able to move this on Tuesday because I've got a delivery coming and I need to get this out to move it. And the idea was have everything all painted, put it back together on Monday, and I could drive it. But now, so I've even I put all the old planetaries and that what was on it, they're in the shipping container at the other end of the yard, so I've got to go and get them back. And now I've come in on a Sunday because I've just got to get it done. I should have it all back together today so I can move it. But yeah, because I've got other things to do on Monday. I knew the thing was coming soon, that what I'm talking about. But it's coming a lot quicker than I thought it was. So yeah, so let's start getting this thing back together and then getting it back on its wheels. Wow, look how many parts there are. I've got to get all this lot back in on my own because Georgina doesn't work at the weekend. She's having the weekend off. But yeah, so let's crack on with it. So I've put all the bearings and everything back in there, all shimmed up, and now it all turns really, really nicely. No notches in it, so that bearing is all good. So when I put the new kingpin assembly in for the new wheel tether, as I'm probably having to re-shim this again anyway, but at least we can get the wheels back on it now. So now I can start loading all the half shafts back in, put the steering on the back of it so it keeps it nice and straight, and then we can start assembling the back axle. So I've got all the steering connected in the back and all the steering done in the front. So the next bit we've got to do, I've already put the long half shaft in, or inner axle, so that is the longer one. That one's gone in already. Next bit I've got to do is put the smaller one, that one, onto there, and it's got a load of ball bearings that go in it. It's really, really tricky because everything's heavy. Everything, they're meant to be full of grease, but they're all clean. It's coming apart again, so I'm not going to bother putting any grease or anything in it. I'm only going to put a little bit of oil in the planetaries because it's all coming out again, probably in less than a week. So if it leaks a little bit of oil on the floor, I'm not too worried about it. I can clean that up. But yeah, but I wanted to show you how I do it. And I'm on my own, and it's a little bit hard, and I haven't got a tripod, so proper bodge something up. I've got the sack truck there, piece of wood onto it. Now I can cable tie, put my phone on there and then cable tie my phone to that. So I can show you what you have to do to try and get these in. Probably going to drop a few balls on the floor, but I'm going to put a tray underneath it to catch them. But let's see how I do. Right, I hope it's got it recording. I don't want to drop my phone. Right, let's get all the bits what I'm going to need. Tray on the floor, but let's put some rubber gloves on because right, so I'm going to need
A few moments later.
So these are the ball bearings I was talking about. So I have exploded these ball bearings. They're rated at 72 tons of pressure. And the monster truck has exploded these ball bearings. They're an inch and 3/4. But let's show you what I've got to do to try and get this in there. Now, the first couple are quite easy. So, the first two go in really nice and easy. Next one, you spin it a bit, you have to try and slide them in from the back. Next one goes in easy. This one is the one that's normally a pain. Oh, flipping it. I've done this a few times, and that one's gone in. That in there. Bring the jack in now. Up on the jack. Oh, dropped it. Ugh. This is the fun of working on your own. Alright, that's enough. Now the reason why I put the jack underneath it is because if I let that go, that'll fall down and all the ball bearings will fall out of it. So the next thing I've got to do is put in the wheel spindle. So this is yet another heavy piece. That goes in there. We bring the jack out the way. That slides in there. Just bring the jack in just to stop it falling off. Next thing I've got to do is line up all the bolts, but I'm panting a bit, but yeah, so at least that's all done, all back in together. Get the bolts in, and then we can start putting all the planetaries on, and then I've just got to do this another 3 times. Yeah, so I've just unloaded all the planetaries out of the container. Got to put the wheel bearings in the back of them because I took them all out. So the next thing is to lift all the planetaries on to the spindles. So now we're at the stage of putting that planetary on there with all the bits in it. So the first step is to push this big piece on. Then we have to stick in your annulus ring, and then we have to stick on the wheel bearing nuts. And then after that we can put on the cover. So it's heavy. First thing I do is stand that up, get the tray out of the way, and get everything so I'm happy with it. Pull my trousers up, and then lift on this piece and slide it all the way to the back. Try and make sure that's steady. And we get this big heavy bit. Put the knee under the ring. Slide that bit in. And then we can put on the wheel bearing nuts. These are the bits that I had problems with at Truckfest Southwest. When the spindle broke, it made it so I couldn't get these undone. So I'm just going to wind them on now, and then get my special socket. I'm probably going to mess up the microphone the next bit because I'm going to use the impact gun. So I'm going to get my special socket I made. That's in there. If you've got headphones on, you might want to turn them down. I get the next nut on. Right, more noise. So where the oil goes in this little hole here, it's at the top. The reason for that is once that ring of bolts is in, you cannot spin that because this axle's got a locked axle in it. So the next thing I have to do, normally there'd be silicone all on this, but because it's coming apart again, I'm not putting it on. And that's it, all back together. Just got to put the bolts in it, put the oil in it, and then all the other planetaries are on apart from one over there. I've just got to put all the end caps on. That's how we build the axles on a monster truck. Okay, so the truck is now all back together. All the wheels are on it. Body is back on it. And I didn't show you this, but yeah, so where all this was bent up, that's all straightened up now, all fitting well. Different air cleaner. I'm probably going to order another air cleaner for it, air filter system. But yeah, so make sure you check out the next video, because the next video is something completely different. We're getting a new vehicle. So make sure you share, like and subscribe, and come back for the next video. Until then, bye-bye.
Suck me in smoke, breathe me in and let me go. Feeling alone. to know